Blessings. Welcome to the Circle of Heka. I'm Lady Amaris. So it's been a little while and I thought I would do the Get to Know Your Witches tag that's been going around, and just as a way of getting back into making videos and just so that you get to know maybe a little bit more about me in general. So let's get into it. First question. Does your sun sign or zodiac sign portray you correctly? If not, do your other planetary signs? So I, according to my chart, I'm a Virgo, but I'm also a cusp sign, so Virgo, Libra. And I find that I probably, I straddle both depending on what it is. I find I'm quite stable, so earth signs are quite stable, but at the same time, I do like to weigh up the pros and cons and weigh things up and whatnot, and so a little bit on the Libra side, I suppose. And I have a Scorpio moon, so that goes into the inner me, the me that most people don't see. So it is the sexual side, or the occult kind of mysterious side of myself. So I think my star sign kind of portrays me quite well. No one is ever exactly the written definition of a star sign, because obviously lots of things go into that, but I think pretty close. What songs bring you the most magical vibes? Okay, I listen to quite a few, a wide variety of songs. So first off, if I'm find myself listening to this song, it kind of tells me that it's time to do a little bit more shadow work. It's shadow work time, and that's 46 and 2 by Tool. I find that the words just speak to me in the fact that it's time to do work. It's shedding the skin and whatnot. So I find that's a good one. As I said, if I find myself just suddenly wanting to listen to that, it's kind of a psychic cue to say shadow work's now in session. So okay, what else? I know I've listened to songs from the Tea Party. I remember going and seeing them way back when I was just a young'un, and it was one of those intimate little unplugged type hole in the wall things where you had to know people who knew people that they were playing at that time. So I found them then, and I thought, wow, I really liked their music. So some songs from the Tea Party. Depending on what it is that I need to do, if I need to ramp up some energy for certain things, then Rammstein would be something that I would listen to as well. What else? I'm going to butcher her name. Curly. She's got quite a few songs that I like. Blossom is one of the ones that I enjoy. I think that's good. And Diamond Hard is good. So when you feel like you need to bolster yourself up a little bit and whatnot. The stock standard ones that people like, the pagan kind of songs that people like. I think some people have said Stevie Nicks and some of the typical kind of ones that most people enjoy, that have that vibe. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I think it was a song that was on that mini series, the Mists of Avalon. That was a good song that kind of gives you that witchy kind of feel. I can't remember what it is at the moment. Some songs from Fawn. I like the Walpurgis Knot. That's quite a good one. And there's another one that I can't remember. They have some quite good songs as well, very, very pagan-y kind of songs. The song Hell Vegan, the one that has Aurora singing in it. I find that really quite powerful, and I'll listen to that sometimes as well. But yeah, Wendy Rule. Can't forget Wendy Rule. She's Australian, so can't forget Wendy Rule. So yeah, songs by Wendy Rule. She's a wonderful person as well. I saw her in a little intimate concert a while ago. So yeah. I hope that I think so. Yeah, it's a wide weird selection of songs, but yeah, just. Okay, which one of your deities, guides, ancestors is more sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply to you, which of your tarot oracle decks is? I don't think necessarily sarcastic. It's more of the kind of, yeah, you already know this, so what's the problem type attitude. It's not necessarily snarky comments or anything. It's just like, you know the answer. So yeah, that's kind of what I get. So yeah, not necessarily any kind of sarcastic banter that goes along. Biggest witchy mess up or misinterpretation. Okay. I think everyone has a kind of like they did a spell that didn't quite work out the way that they wanted it to, and then you look back and you go, oh yeah, I didn't really word that right. I think something that comes to mind as a mistake and also a misinterpretation from myself is way back when I first went third, and I was finding my feet with a new coven, and there are probably like one or two people that in my naivety I initiated that I probably shouldn't have. That's probably one of my biggest mistakes is doing that, initiating someone that probably shouldn't have been initiated. And I say that because one, it wasn't really their path, but they were really committed to doing the work for that part, and I think they also had a nice little mask that I hadn't really developed the skills at that time to kind of see through. So there's that, and the other one was, again, it wasn't really their path, but they, to be honest, it was because they were male, and we didn't really have a lot of men in the coven at the time. So it was kind of one of those things where it's nice to have a bit of male energy just to be in the mix. But again, that wasn't something that actually was a good thing. So yeah, so that would be probably my biggest mistake, was initiating someone that I shouldn't have, and that goes to the fact that it was I was finding my feet. I didn't really have the education that I do now in picking into people and finding out whether that's actually the right thing to do. So yeah. What's next? Would you write, so this is number 5, would you write would you write a book on the craft of spirituality? Why? If you already have, what were your challenges in doing so? A couple of people have asked me if I would write a book. See, it's one of those things where I struggle a lot with imposter syndrome, where I know a lot of stuff, but I know that I don't know a lot of stuff either. There's still so much more to learn, and I think, well, who am I to be teaching these sorts of things when I still don't know enough? And so that's one of those things where it's like, well, who am I to write a book? Who's going to read the book? So I think maybe as I get a little bit older, I might think about doing something like that. But at the moment, no. But you never know. You never know. You're like in a big city, as they say. Once I feel comfortable in the fact that I can put together something that someone would like to read, and that it's not, it's not. See, there's so many really good books out there that it's like, well, what can I contribute to the mix that's not been done already? Not rehashing over the same kind of thing. So, yeah, eventually I think I probably will. The challenges will probably be, trying to find something that is different and not the same stuff over and over again. That would be the challenge, I think. If someone wanted to summon you to their circle, what 5 items would they need? Oh gosh. Chocolate. Good chocolate. A lychee martini. Probably if it was as a ritual that you were summoning me to, maybe it would have to be frankincense, myrrh, and some benzoin. I think they're beautiful scents, and they just put me into a magical mindset, or a spiritual mindset. As soon as I smell them, it is one of those olfactory triggers that go, yes, we're in sacred space now. So that would be that. So what's that? That's 3. 2 more. Cats. Lots of cats. I miss my cats. So my last cat died quite a few years ago. She was about 20 years old, and I haven't gotten any since. So cats will probably be the thing. And what's the last thing? Probably a good sense of humour. That'll be it. You need to have a good sense of humour to summon me. That will be the last one. So chocolate, lychee martinis, cats, and a good sense of humour, and lovely smells. That'll do it. Okay, number 7. If you were a ghost, what place would you haunt? I would haunt the Vatican archives. I would read everything that they have there that is closed to the public, all the sacred texts and texts that they've procured over the centuries. I would read them all. I have a feeling that they probably have a few a few safeguards to anyone, going in there in the astral. So I'm not sure about ghosts. They might have or spirits. They might have a few booby traps in there for spirits as well. So I'd have to be a little bit, wily. But that would be the place that I would haunt. Just having a look at all the Vatican archives would be good. I don't know how sexy it sounds, but yeah, that'll be a good place. Okay, what is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you are a witch? It's not something that I kind of go out and tell people. I don't introduce myself and say, "Oh, hi, I'm a witch. How you go?" It's something that people kind of get by maybe osmosis, and most of my close family and friends kind of know. And a few of the times that I've said, I'm a witch, and it's like, oh yeah, duh. So there's that. But let's see. I do know that on the odd occasion when, there was, I worked at a place, and I was really quite chatty and chummy with one person there, and we'd talk and have conversations, maybe have lunch, all of those sorts of things. Really quite just like a friendship. It wasn't like one of those really, really good friendships at work, but it was we chatted and talked, and it was just normal. And then someone that worked at another place that I had worked at came to my workplace, and because for different reasons, they were just there for like a day, and they noticed that I was working there, and they said to the person that they were talking to, was like, "Oh yeah, you know that she's a witch." And it wasn't something that I had actually put out to my workplace. It's not something that I have on my resume or talk about all the time, because that's something that's me, and it shouldn't be. It's not something that when you go for a job, do you put down that you're a Christian or a Buddhist or whatever. It's not something that you usually do. So it wasn't something that was common knowledge within the workplace. Well, at that workplace anyway. And I was like, oh, and so as it goes, gossip spreads around, and everyone in the workplace goes, oh yeah, she's a witch. So that was one day. The next day, the person that I was quite chummy with, then basically decided to cut off contact with me, like would not even look at me. We walked down the passageway between offices, and would actively look at the wall, not to look at me, not acknowledge, not even like, hi, how you going? No more lunch, or none of those sorts of things. So it's not actually like a funny, but it's kind of like a really kind of reaction. It's like, well, I was the same person I was yesterday. It's just this new information. Have I suddenly, it was just like funny, kind of like, really? So that's one of the more obvious kind of things. And then there's also the whole thing of, again, at work, guys finding out that you're a witch, and they kind of ask you, oh, well, do you have orgies? And, if you do, can I watch? And, all of those stupid things. But most of the time, most people are kind of like, yeah, all right. So, but yeah, I don't go and tell everyone that I meet. It's not the first thing that's in conversation. So, hopefully I answered that. Number 9, do you have any superstitions? Not really. I think that there's the kind of almost cultural kind of things where you say something and if you don't want it to come about, you kind of like knock on wood. There's one of those sorts of things. I do know that I always seem to put my right shoe on before my left shoe, just to kind of, as a good luck thing. And I think a couple of times when I've put my left shoe on before my right shoe, the day's kind of gone a little bit kind of ugh. So I think that might just be a psychological thing. I don't know whether it's typically like super superstitious, because it's not like I will get back into bed and say no to the day if I accidentally put the left shoe on before the right. But all in all, not really that superstitious. I know that witchcraft is kind of made up on a lot of little superstitions and little quirky kind of things that cultural kind of things that you would do. But in the vein of having to stop everything because something went wrong, you didn't do a certain thing, you didn't walk a certain way past a certain statue, whatever it happens to be, not particularly. Like the whole black cat thing, not letting a black cat walk across your thing, I think that's specifically an American thing. I don't think it's the same in Europe or Australia. And walking under a ladder, I think that's just making sure that if you don't, because someone's going to drop something on your head. So yeah, that's kind of unlucky. So yeah, not really that superstitious. If you could possess any fantasy magic, what would your power be? I like the Marvel character, the Scarlet Witch. She can do all the fireballs and move reality and move things, all of that that flashy kind of witch stuff that looks quite cool. So yeah, I think I'd like that. Yeah. yeah. Scarlet Witch's powers. That's what I'll have. Number 11. What is something random on your altar? Just 1 second. I'll cut this out. But yeah. Okay, back. The magic of YouTube television. I can cut that out. So, what was it? What is something random on your altar? Okay, so the thing that I have that's random, or could be considered random on my altar, is this, a statue of Yoda. My boyfriend got me this, and I love it. I love Yoda. Yoda is my idol. So I have Yoda on here, and it's to symbolize wisdom and just knowledge that's obviously born from experience, but also the whole thing of not judging a book by its cover, and that even the smallest things or inconsequential things can hold great power. So Yoda is my man. Love Yoda. So he's on my altar. That would be kind of a random thing. I don't think it looks. I don't think people would think of it as specifically witchy. Most people's altar will have stones and bones and statues of deities and whatnot. So he's just on my altar just to remind me that wisdom comes in all forms and all packages, and never judge a book by its cover. So what else do we have? If one of the YouTubers you watched was a genie and they could grant you 3 wishes, within their power, Who would it be and what wishes? And you can't ask for more wishes. Okay. I would go for, this is just silly and it's popped into my head. I would go for Mikey from Glam and Gore. I enjoy watching her videos and just seeing all the different things that she does with makeup and special effects. So if she was a genie, I would get her firstly to do my makeup and make me look absolutely fabulous, and maybe go out somewhere absolutely fabulous, obviously to show off the fabulous makeup. Probably wear one of like a wig or something as well, just to go with the whole look. And maybe if she had it within her, that's number one. Number two, I would then get her to make me look like the most hideous creature, frightening, horrific creature known to man. Something so horrific that you would need therapy after looking at myself, and then I would walk probably down a main street and scare everybody. Yeah, that'd be fun. And the third, maybe I'll just do something kind of slightly unoriginal, but maybe just hanging out with her dog for a little bit. That'll be fun. The dog's got a wonderful personality, so yeah, just having a bit of fun and a bit of laugh with her dog Ripley. So yeah, that'll be it. Okay, if you could instantly become an expert in any part of your craft, spirituality, what would it be? I don't think that there is any such thing as an expert, in the fact that there's always something more to learn. There's always something more, and you may have expertise in a certain thing, but you might find that there's someone else that has a little bit more than you. So I don't think that if you kind of sit there and go, all right, well, I'm an expert, sometimes it actually makes you just sit there and not do anything else. And you should always strive to know more, because the thing is that once you think that you know everything, there's always more to learn. So I wouldn't actually say that I would like to become an expert, well-versed, well-knowledged, but well-knowledged, is that a thing? But probably go a little bit more deeper into herb craft, and probably the poison path as well. That's something that I would like to get a little bit more proficient at, I would say. An expert, again, there's always more, there's always something else. So I don't think I ever want to become an expert, because that's kind of, that's hindering development. But yeah, the poison path and into herbs and the magical uses of herbs and whatnot. So yeah. Number 14. When you die, what do you think will happen to you, your soul? Okay, there's lots of theories, and so this is what I surmise at the moment. Obviously, it's subject to change. So this is what I surmise: that human beings are, on this plane, on this physical plane, which is physical and matter and solid to an extent, obviously. As spirit, we need the physical body in order to move around and interact within the physical plane. So again, your body is literally a space suit for the physical plane, so that you can move and interact around without any problems. Your spirit animates the spacesuit as well. It becomes a living thing. So it's not like you're just, what is it, one of the Men in Black movies where it was a literal person with a little person sitting in the in the head part, they're moving the gears and the wires. So it's not like that. You are actually animating every cell, every part of you is part of that cell. So when you vacate your spacesuit, you are also taking away that spiritual part out of the spacesuit as well, and you're no longer there. So with that said, I also surmise that there are different stages, because being in the physical plane, we don't have all of our spirit within the body, if that makes sense. We have a section of ourself within the body. So with that said, because you've created and that part of your soul that is kind of slightly attached off, it now becomes its own kind of little thing, which we call like the ego, and which has been developed over time of your lifetime of being within that body, being born and then going through life and creating a kind of persona shell around your soul. So there's that thing that is you, and or part of you anyway. So when you die, that comes out, and obviously we have the expansion, but it's not. There is time that is needed for the ego part to start to dissipate, or for more of a thing to integrate within that soul spirit portion, when it then integrates back into the collective of self. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. It's a really big thing. I might maybe do a bigger video on it. But last one. Where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? World domination. No. No. At the moment, I am, my goal is to open up a physical, occult metaphysical shop in Perth, because that's something that is seriously lacking in Perth, and I feel that it's something that would benefit the pagan, witchy, occult, magical community in Perth. And that it would be a hub for people who wish to know and learn, and a way of them being able to connect with groups that they may not have been able to connect with. Because I know that online there is that idea of connection, but I don't feel it's the same as real connection, of face-to-face connection. And there are lots of people that aren't online who would love to be part of a group that don't know how to contact or get in touch with other groups because they're not online. And that's kind of, just one of those things. If there was an actual physical place that they could go and ask questions and be, pointed in the right direction for whatever they're interested in, whichever group. I think that would be a wonderful thing, and that's what I'm working for. So in the next 5 years, I will have a thriving, successful occult shop in Perth that is the hub of networking knowledge for the Perth spiritual community. And so that's where I see myself in 5 years, growing and changing, learning more every year, every minute. That's where I see myself in 5 years. 15, I think, that's it. So I hope that was enlightening. I hope you enjoyed that and it wasn't too kind of boring. It's like, oh, really? She's the most boring person I've ever met. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful day and many blessings.
If you like this video and want to see more, please click on the links provided. If you think this witchcraft thing may be for you, please subscribe. Blessed be.